Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry again. Kenshi, a indie developed made by one man, one individual. I'm going to review the alpha or talk about the alpha or what have you. Okay, first things first. I really do not know how to freaking even describe this game. Right now you're just seeing random gameplay footage. You're put out into this huge, gigantic world where you can choose to do whatever you want. This is what makes me my mind just kind of like brain farts on it. This man has made a game that rivals many modern games. The only thing I can find as a negative about it is that there is no sound. That once this guy puts the sound in, I'm going to say there is no excuse not to pick this up. For about $15 on Steam or on his site, and hopefully I'll have the annotation or description in the low bar beneath this video, this game allows you to do anything. Anything. Do you want to be a farmer, or do you want to be a trader? You can be a trader. Do you just want to farm and mess around? Fine. Do you want to build a building? Or do you want to build a small little city? You can do that. You can do it whatever you want. And do you want to build a burgeoning town? Or do you want to be a bounty hunter? You actually have so many things you can do in this game and so many setups. Hell, even right now, you'll see me, I'm trying to figure out how to get into this building, but you can actually be a bloody bounty hunter. You can actually just go into these buildings, go, hey, I got a bounty, I knocked this guy out, here he is. And you even have to be careful. I mean, bounties are inherently, you only get paid half for, like it says, you only get paid half for bringing in a dead bounty. So pretty much, if you take a guy who has a bounty on their head, immediately use a mini pack so you can get the full bounty and you can just walk in back and forth. And I built a small little town down there just to get my bearings and figuring everything out. This is one of the few games that you'll want to play so many hours in. You can customize your characters. You can trade and sell items off. You can be a trader, and it allows you to. It's an RPG, open world, kind of small armies clashing, and you actually have stats and statistics on your main character themselves and on their body parts. And this is something that I, for one, applaud, because it's very rare for a game to be doing something so unique and so special and so different. And this being made by one man, I have to say this gets my thumbs up, a massive approval, because I already spent at least a minimum of like 10, 15 hours doing, building a mine, being a mercenary, gaining some people, hunting bounties, and going around. I finally got into building a place, and so far, you can start building armor, weapons, and you can start building food and whatnot, so if traders come by, you can actually sell your goods. I haven't gotten that far in the building set, but that's the thing, is that not getting that far, it's really that I've just scratched the surface of this game, and I'm already like 10, 15 hours in. Very few games don't even last that long, let alone that I'm just hitting the bare bone basic surface, that I'm going in there just to have fun, just to mess around, and you can just see, you can actually piss, and there's many factions that you can piss off. So far, I've only found like 4 or so. I have yet to figure out how to really make them happy other than not killing them. But you can just see right now, you can these are small squad bases, and every person that you have to be careful about. It's not one of these, oh yeah, I can run in and do fine. You have to be careful what you do. So if your buddies get hurt, you have to, as you see me right now, just you got to be thinking how you're interacting, how you're taking down the people. And that if your guys get hurt and start bleeding, that it may be better to make them run away into a corner and let your stronger guys duke out. And you can even see right there that you got to even put armor, give them weapons, give them multiple weapons, so just in case something happens, that you want your primary weapon to be your strong one. And you could just see it right then and there. It is really kind of a I don't even know how to explain this game. It is so good. I would argue like a Western kind of Japanese flair and that each one of your characters, that you can completely customize each one, and their inventory is uniquely their own. And you have to be careful about their weapons. You have 100 points of usable space. So if your head body goes down to 100, below 100, you get knocked out. And if it gets to a negative 100, you lose that body part. So if your arm goes to a negative 100, whatever part, you will be losing that arm. Now, if it's stomach, torso, or head, you're dead. You are dead, and it is something that can easily happen to even your best guys. That it's a lot of stats and numbers based, but you also have to play smartly. You also have to think, if you have a problem, do you run back to town? Do you have time to run back to a town? If you're a mercenary hunting bandits and whatnot, do you make these difficult choices? Do you send your two best men where your compound is then no longer protected? And just making sure that everyone is safe and alive. You can just see that right now, is that one of my guys is almost ready to lose his left arm. That I took a great risk moving him out. And it's like, there are these choices and challenges that you have to put in this game. And it's not an easy game. It's one of those games that you have to think, be careful, and do the right thing. And you could just even see right now, sometimes it's like you have to run off some of your guys into the corner so you can make sure your primary guys can cut them down. And that your best guys, you need to not forget about your best guys, and you need not to rush them all over the place. That these choices, if you build a town, you need people to defend it. When you have a town made, you got to go, holy crap, we're in danger. We have to make sure there's some form of guards. Now, so far what's been put into this game, it is basically a close combat game right now. And even if it came out as just close combat, I would still say it's an exceptional must-play, must-buy game. This game is not just, in its current state, it is just a close combat game. But when it fully comes out, it's going to have ability to shoot with your enemies. Your own teammates can shoot and stuff like that. And that's what I like, is that with everything that's been made and built around this, is that you can actually build up an army and start taking over places and doing what you want or what you feel to do. You can then be allies with whatever thing. Right now, you have all these factions, and I picked a guy who was cast out. It looks like it was a captain, and he's a very strong person. Uses really a specific weapon style. But I could have built where I had a party of traders coming in, so I could even start trading from the beginning. And this guy really knows what he's doing. He really understands that when you build a game and make a game, you have to make it for the player and for yourself. That he wanted to make a RPG open world where you can do, or a sandbox, where you can build a small army, take over places, be a trader, be a farmer, be whatnot, or build a town. He literally went, here, this is what you can do. Have fun with it. And in this alpha footage, or alpha format, it is one of those I'm like, you know what? This alpha is worthy of a buy, and it's like, this, to me, it feels like equivalent of the early stages like Minecraft was. It does not have the, whatchamacallit, the multiple, a never-ending, randomly generated nature, but for what was created, he even says he wants to make it even bigger. And that I'm hoping for, because if he can make this bigger, I'm hoping he does more than just desert. I hope he does jungle or snow biome or something like that, like having these areas so you can actually have this huge, gigantic world. And he says that at the very end of it, that you're going to have roughly 50 people per... you can control 50 people. Right now it's only 20. I hope he gets more ambitious when it comes out, that he keeps on iterating where you can make it even larger, that you can have even more people underneath your command. And just making these, and I'm one of these guys who likes making these elite shock troopers and taking these weapons and items and moving them around and doing what I want with it. And not only does this game allow you to loot, it allows you to pick up people. So if you have a bounty, you can pick them up and walk them away. If you have a backpack, you can pick up their armor, sell them in town, and then take that money, either buy equipment for yourself, or if not buy equipment for yourself, hire more people so you can have a larger group of people working together. And it is that. It is that little feature that I really enjoy and like, because it actually gives you so much to do. Nothing is held back. And what is a great thing about this game is that, yeah, there's a lot of menus to go through, but every item and weapon you pick, there are pros and cons to it. Do you pick up a katana that gives you 6 or plus 8 to damage and attack, but takes away several in the defense? Or do you pick one that does the reverse, that it takes away your attack but makes you nigh on impossible to hit? It's not just, okay, your stats just plainly go up. It literally makes these choices. And to even upgrade your basic stats like strength and whatnot, do you weigh your guy down with all this heavy equipment so he'll get stronger, so each hit does even more damage? But then again, if you weigh him down, he becomes slower, he becomes a little less effective in general areas. It's like, what do? You have to make these choices. You have to make a difficult choice of saying, how do I make these guys better so I can take on more enemies, or so I don't have to worry about the bandits that are going to constantly be attacking my base? These choices, though minimal in design and concept and theory, have great ramifications. And I believe this is made by one guy. I'm believing this guy saw a lot of this stuff a mile away and thought, you know what? Let's make a game that literally gives you open world and lets it go saying, okay, you got to survive, you got to do all these things, you got to think of what you do. And this also, guys, when you build a place, you can actually have it mostly automated. That you can actually you can actually have your people already set, so one guy's pumping the well, another guy's farming, another guy's in the mine making sure they get rock or materials or ore, so you can build weapons, build building materials, so you can expand your city or town. Doing this is something that I, for one, am so glad, because that little idea and ability to build what you want and modify it slowly so you can continuously expound and grow bigger and bigger. You can even, in that sense, when you do that, you can now, in a sense, pretty much build a castle with multiple rings going on. And what I'm doing here is, like, you can build beds. And beds are super important. So if you have a severely wounded individual and you put them in the bed, they'll heal up quicker. So if you have a guy that might lose his arm, you throw him in the bed, and it will speed up his recuperation so he can use that arm again. And that is the things that with that ability to use you can actually then have people in the front lines more often, so you can push people further, so you can explore further and further out. Be more aggressive in your nature. And then when you're wounded, you can pull them back, make sure they sleep, and do this. And everything is not one of these that it's another one of those games that you have to be cautious and careful. You cannot be carefree in this game. You have to think before you act. And there's another thing that what I love about what this guy is doing is that when you build this game, you don't make a game just purely like, yeah, I can just waddle around hacking people's heads left and right and not having a repercussion for my action. That, oh yeah, I'll just do whatever I want. That is what I like about what he's done. Is that by doing this, he, in a sense, literally makes it, you can do whatever you want. Kind of like why I liked, not Last of Us, what's the other one? State of Decay, is that to do something, you have to think on what you do. If you want to go crazy, if you want to go hacking people up, you have to deal with the consequences. And like in State of Decay, when you do those things, you can, in a sense, do whatever you want, but there's consequences. You run out of ammo, run out of medicine, run out of supplies, someone gets wounded, you lose them, or you need more people. You got to make these choices. And in this game, it's a very simple choice. Do I put everyone to make a city and have one or two guards out, and the city will be built faster, but if we get attacked, we may lose everyone really quickly? Or do I make sure I have many guards and a small amount of people who are builders, so I'm under heavy guard, my men are under heavy guard to build this city? So if they attack these I would call them elite guard, oh, enemy coming by, cut off their head, oh, he's a bounty, take two of these guys and sell him off. Sell this guy so we can make more money so we can buy better supplies. You actually have all these choices and challenges to do. And that, oh, whoops, one of your guys are severely wounded, he's unconscious, but he's bandaged up. I have to hold on to him so I can move him to a bed, or I can keep him with me because I know he's a very good fighter, but I don't have the time, money, and energy to move him to a bed. And it's these choices and challenges that you have to think and do that makes it such a really great thing. And that just alone by making some of these buildings, you need to think on what do you need, what's going to attract people. And when you make this money, you can go, we got a lot of money, we got a lot of equipment. We need more people. Now, you can also even train these people up or give them better armor, so you can actually deck out your normal traders and go, yeah, heavily armored, very strong, very quick, very good weapons that do a lot of damage and give me more buffs than negatives. So you can then have them start selling things. And not only just selling things, you can, in a sense, have them go, okay, I don't need that many guards now. We can use the guards to be more bounty hunters instead of having them guard the caravans. I'm moving your supplies back and forth so you can build an empire on an economic empire. It is something that I personally laugh because too many professionals they clap over Call of Duty, but a game like this, it doesn't even hit their radar. And that when it comes out, it's usually because of other people or YouTubers that have just gone, because of the love of the games, more on than anything. And that this game alone, for what was it, $10, $15? $15 is exceptional. And I have to say, as I said before, once he puts sound in, ambient sound, because there was a guy who's supposedly going to do the music for this. I'm going to say is once the ambient sound and the sound effects come in, this game is a no-brainer to buy. Even in its alpha state, you'll get hours of enjoyment of just tinkering around. I'll call this the interactive Legos yet again, because you can build whatever you want, however you want, and you have to be careful and choose what you do. And just in that alone, you can just see a lot of the people are wounded, and that was just a small skirmish. In the final game, they're going to get bigger, so you're going to have even bigger chances and choices and challenges ahead. And that's all that. And for everything I've just said, it's just that's the thing, is that the only thing I can find a problem with it, no sound. So if you want to wait till the sound comes out before you make your choice, go right ahead. But anyone else, this game is one of those games you should pick up. You will not regret picking. I will say I'll make the assumption that I don't believe you'll regret it for $10, $15. That if you like an open world sandbox that can pretty much do whatever, anything, you can be a mercenary, you can be a vendor or whatnot, I'm going to say you're probably going to really like this game. Thank you for listening. Please tell me what you think, and thank you, and good night.